Hey everybody, what's up? It's the We Stomped You Out show. It'd help if we had the banner up here. I'm such a slacker. Uh, Keith has been tormenting me during this pre-show.
No.
All right, confession: I made a mistake last week, and I said it was episode 4. It's really episode 5 last week, so that makes this week episode 6 of season 3. I am Steve. See, I'm pointing at Steve right there. And if I turn, see, I was trying to be slick and kind of go this way slowly, but no, I screwed it up. Keith, the returning Keith from the Keys, which we'll get into in just a moment or two, is here. Timmy T, right beneath me.
What up, everybody? What up?
Rodriguez is going to be out again this week. We start docking his pay. But no, we wish him well.
Last week too? Oh,
he
yeah.
was out last week. And special thank you, dating back to last week, Hollywood Dave, who is normally on the Just Too Sweet show. He also hosts the Four Quarters show. He filled in very nicely for absentee Keith and absentee Rodriguez. Keith, you were in the Keys. We'll get to that after you talk to us about some coffee. But I did, last week, I did say, I'm not sure if you heard the show. I said, we wish them well. Tim's like, no, I don't wish Keith well. He's in paradise.
I sure was. It was nice. I did hear the show. It was good job. Enjoyable show. He's just not as good as when I'm on it.
All right. You want to tell the folks about Brooklyn and Water Coffee, please?
Yeah.
No.
Brooklyn Water Coffee Roasters.com. From their roastery to your front door. Only the finest
the rolling
beans
of the R's.
are hand selected for your pleasure. When I mean pleasure, I mean your caffeinated pleasure. There's a handful of delicious flavors, such as dark roast, dark chocolate. It's a rich chocolatey flavor with no guilt. You know why it has no guilt? Tell them why it has no guilt. How many calories are in there, Faraci?
Absolutely zero.
Boom! Part of some of the other flavor lines is flavor lines. The lines of coffee that have flavor in it is Winter Wonderland. I'm not sure if that's available right now, but keep checking. Because once it's available, you should purchase it immediately. It's delicious. Then there's the high energy coffee line, which includes what we like to call our friend Rodriguez, who is nowhere to be seen right now, but he will be with us soon. We love Rodriguez. Jacked Up Cupcake. It's a 50% energy, high energy. I am off my game. Hold on. I need to reset. Hold on.
You're not doing as good as you did last week.
You got keys on the brain.
I put myself on the bottom.
That's where you belong, sir.
Yeah. So we have the high energy caffeine line, which is 50% more caffeine per cup. Part of that caffeine high energy line is Jacked Up Cupcake, which is what we like to call our friend Rodriguez. And it's a delicious vanilla flavored, cupcake flavored coffee that has cupcakes are full of calories, aren't they? Wait, how many calories are in that, Faraci?
Settle.
Boom! Then I got Cinnabuzz, another one that I love. That's actually my favorite Cinnabuzz. That's also part of the 50% more caffeine line per cup. Cinnamon naturally has a ton of calories. I don't think it does, right? How many calories are in that again, Faraci?
Settle.
Boom! There's a few other high energy lines. You should check them out. 50% more caffeine on average per cup. There's a ton of different delicious flavor coffees too. But if you're not into flavor coffee and it's not your thing, that's cool. We got the thing for you. It's the medium roast coffee. Only the finest beans, again, are selected for this. It's from South America and somewhere else that I can't remember right now. Forgive me, folks, I'm rusty. But it is on the website, www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. I speak from experience because I drink their coffee regularly. Delicious coffee, www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com, from their roastery to your front door. And what's the best is they roast to order. And within 24 hours of roasting your order, it will ship. You're going to get the freshest roasted coffee on the planet.
Fresh.
www.com. Put on or use code mask on. You get your third bag free. But you got to buy two, so don't be a cheap ass. BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com.
Tim, you did a very good job there.
I totally jacked that all up. But I'm rusty. Hey, listen.
I don't know. You know how many groups I shared this out to just now?
72?
None.
25.
Because Facebook always has to change their shit. And God forbid they, put out, like a release. This is where you can find things now. But when they change things, they don't tell anybody a thing, They thank us for building communities. That's what
Does
they do.
that mean I need to do that commercial again?
What?
Does that mean I need to do the commercial again?
What?
Commercial again?
No, you don't have to do the commercial again. Yeah. All right. So, Keith, I want you
What's
to
up?
start off with. Did you watch the game on Sunday?
I watched a good portion of it.
Oh, I was hoping you would say no because you were still enjoying yourself, or coming down off that high, that vacation high.
I had it on my phone. I was checking in. It was a little rough.
All right. Well, let's start off with how were the keys?
Amazing.
We got to know because I'm going to stay at the
Amazing.
place that you stayed. So, give me a little infomercial while I share this out.
So I don't. We can talk about that offline. I don't know what suite, like you said. I know you said briefly, but I don't know exactly where you're staying. Depending where you stay is depending on your experience. However, the property itself was amazing. It's got about I'd say about 75 feet of beach right up to a seawall with the Keys water. Like you can literally step over the seawall and just go out into the ocean and swim. It's got a dock. If you got a boat, you can park your boat there. It's got a fishing station, a fishing clean station. It's got tons of like Adirondack chairs and tiki huts and a giant sized chessboard and bunghole. And I know Tim likes bunghole. The beach is amazing. It's got a pool on a deck that overlooks the ocean. But I think they're tearing that down. It looks like they were building a 3 times the size pool right next to it. That's going to be more ocean level, but it's still beautiful. The room where I was at itself was amazing. I had a convection oven, full oven. It's just like a studio apartment. Open my door. I send you the pictures. You open the door,
Yes.
Boom, the ocean's right there. It was an amazing experience. And I'm a Keys.
I really enjoyed. Sorry to interrupt. I really enjoyed the one where the blanket was just barely covering you. That was my favorite.
Yeah, you saw that, right? I
Yeah.
just showed you the pubes and the top of the sausage, but not the whole sausage. That was good.
Well,
And then it's terrible. And I'm very familiar with the area, the Keys, the Middle Keys. I go down there frequently, so I was also able to enjoy the amenities in the area that I know, such as all the breweries and awesome restaurants and things like that.
all right,
It was
cool.
amazing, relaxing, refreshing. Being cooped up with COVID, listen, I recommend to everybody to take some sort of vacation. Don't be reckless and careless. Don't walk into crowded rooms. Don't go into a full capacity Dolphin Stadium. But down in the Keys, there is enough area down there where you can be spaced. People mostly, you always get your one jerk. People mostly respected everybody's space, had masks on. The crew, the staff of the place I was at was very COVID friendly. They didn't do the daily turn down service or whatever you want to call it, where they clean your room, refresh, and make your bed. But anything we needed was a phone call away, and they'd drop tons of towels, sheets, soap, whatever we needed at the door. They were very
All right, so
responsive.
very good service.
Very good service, yeah. I was very happy with the COVID response to them. I was very happy with the property. And I was very happy with not working for 4 or 5 days in a row.
That is the best part. Tim, I know you had a little weekend getaway. How'd that go? You got to see the tag team partner, AZ?
Yeah, well, I'm going to stay just to chill out just for the weekend, enjoy the 50-degree weather. Because in New York City, it's still messing with you. You know how it used to mess with you? You know, you got 60, then you're at 80, then you're at 60, then you're at 80. You know, can't take the air conditioner out yet because you check the 5 days, 390 degrees. You know, the degrees coming up there. You're like, can't take the air conditioner out yet. So yeah, I went upstate, had a little fun time.
If we were to take the air conditioner out in Florida, it would usually require power tools and a forklift.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, right now here it's 86, feels like 94. You walk outside, you just.
I don't even know where are we at? 70.
See, that's beautiful.
That's Saturday, 78.
We won't hit 70 until probably around Christmas week.
Yeah, they'll toy around with us. Remember what I told you last week, Tim? That we had a cool front come in and it dropped all the way down to 87 for the high. Less humidity, I didn't do much. Stayed around the house, but I do want to get the show started. But before this, and Tim, if you'll indulge us for just a moment, I did want to. Keith and I lost a good buddy a couple days ago.
Yes.
And I just wanted to kind of dedicate this episode to him. Little cheers here. Raphael, look, you such a great guy, and it's really just proof that life can just be gone within an instant. Guy was 43 years old, heart attack on Monday. And he's just gone. And he was such a good guy that not one negative thing could be said about him other than the fact that he's a Cubs fan. The great thing about Raf was that he was a Cubs fan, he was a Portland Trailblazers fan, and he was a Buffalo Bills fan. So it just spread out all over it. There was no rhyme or reason to, not one city, not this player that I was following around.
He was nuts.
And he knew his sports. He knew his sports,
yes.
Knew his movies. He just started, a lot of things that were sad about, him passing. But one of the saddest things is that, over the course of the last 3 years, he's been telling me that he wants to start a podcast. And, I've been doing this for a while now, and he was picking my brain, last week or 2 weeks in August. I helped him pick out a computer to get set up, to start the podcast. He started doing the podcast, asked me to listen, provide feedback and all that stuff. Did a great job, and one thing that hit me hard here was that his brother reached out to some people that I know and asked if anybody had the link to his podcast so that he could hear his voice. And so I had the link to the podcast, thankfully, sent it out to him.
Can you send that to me, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But again, nothing but good things to say all around. You can't hear anything bad about the guy. He say a couple words.
I do, actually, and he. So when I first met Raphael, I actually hired him, company I work for, and the reason why I hired him was not because he impressed me in an interview, was because I saw his heart, and I knew he would be somebody who tried his best, and that's all you can ask for when you're. And at the time, I don't like to divulge in too much work and personal, but at the time I was a manager in a call center, and a lot of times in the call center, you're not always going to hire somebody who you think is the best person. You're going to hire somebody who you know is going to work hard for you and is a good person, because you can fill in the rest, the experience, the training, and that was him. And he came in. I mean, he was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I'm sorry, I get emotional because it broke my heart. And he I just remember training him. He was so intimidated because he wanted to do so good because he knew we gave him a shot, and it meant so much to him. And he was in a training class, and he was so I'm gonna cry on air. Wow, this is ridiculous. And he was so involved, like in trying to be so good, and he put so much pressure on himself. And the trainer at the time, I think it was Shawnette, I think, came to me and said he was struggling, and I went and sat next to him. The fact that I was sitting next to him intimidated him so bad. He stood like I'm crying right now. He started crying, like bawling, crying. And my point in saying that is not to embarrass him or say anything bad about him. It's just to say what a huge heart he has and how passionate he was. And I saw that, and it made me feel so bad because I know sometimes I'm very like rigid, and I know that probably the way my approach was, it scared the crap out of him, and it wasn't my intention. I was really
when people don't know you.
Yeah, when people don't know me, and I was just there to help him, and he he started crying. I always wanted to hug him like my kid, which there's a whole other joke, but I will never tell that on air.
No.
I love Rafa, rest in peace, bro. He was, I'm so glad I was a part of his journey. I was so glad that I was, and I know, Farachi, you're not religious, but I'm so glad that God used me to bring him into First Data Facer, that company that we work for, that he, God used me to bring him in there and change his life a little bit, because I do truly believe working in that company changed his life for a lot of positive ways. And I don't take credit for that. That's all him. And the man above, in my opinion. Amen. But rest in peace, Rafa. Love you, bro. And I'll see you again.
Next time we get together, we have to have some Zeppelis.
See, look, you made me cry, faggot. What?
What?
And anybody who knows me knows I have no issues with any type of orientation. It's just a joke. So if you take offense to that, you don't know me, and it's too bad for you.
Screw you.
Seriously. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let's get to it. Last week, Giants and the Rams. Tim uttered the words again. The defense keeping us in it.
That's it. I, today I'm going over notes. I'm going, it's the same notes. It's the same notes every single week. Defense, and again, the defense played to hold the Rams to 17 points. Not to mention
impressive.
A touchdown in the last quarter too. I mean, it was. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, again, it's the same notes as last week. No protection, no running game, no offense. Defense trying to keep us in as long as they could, and then you just can't hold on that long. You can't have the first drive of the game go whatever it was, 11, 12 minutes, and have that defense on the field that whole time. It ruins the entire game to have the defense on the field that long in the opening quarter, on the opening drive. And I'm sitting here watching going, this is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. Same thing every week. See, I got rid of the G-Man hat, and I brought back the Super Bowl patch hat just because I'm tired. I'm tired.
Okay. We switched it up a little bit.
I need the good memories. I need the good memories seeping into my skull.
And I brought back the short haircut to show off my non-receding hairline, Farachi.
Too bad you have to go get a haircut.
It's true. Actually, I did this myself. I haven't gone to a barbershop. Can we just deviate from the topic for a second? I haven't gone to a barbershop since like January, and I truly miss my barber.
I don't miss any.
I miss my barber. My barber's awesome.
I miss my Brooklyn. I miss my Brooklyn. Nice. I miss my Brooklyn Italian barber on Avenue L. Jack and Frank.
Well, my original barber.
A couple brothers had their own business.
Tim might know him. His name was. He was down on 63rd and Roosevelt. His name was Louis. He was off on Tuesdays. Now,
yes.
You remember
Louis?
I don't remember Louis. I don't remember Louis, but I can't remember if it was Jack or Frank, but one of them was off on Tuesdays.
My new barber, Louis from New Evolution Barbers in Coral Springs, he's off on Thursday. So now it's Louis off on Thursday. I went from Louis off on Tuesday to Louis off on Thursday.
Yeah. All right.
But yes, the Giants' offense was awful, and it's not
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
And let me throw out one quick stat here that'll show you exactly what's going on. Daniel Jones, who I know we're gonna get into for people like Peterson and all these other idiots who are saying to draft a quarterback next year. He was 23 for 36. 23 for 36 with an interception, no touchdowns. But when you throw 23 completions in an NFL game, you should have 250 yards, 300 yards.
Minimum.
Yep.
Minimum. 23 completions. Daniel Jones had 190. And what does that tell you? He can only throw short. He doesn't have time to go deep. Doesn't have, honestly, the receivers to go deep. Golden Tate's too worried about fighting Jalen Ramsey to run a goddamn route. So, again, anyone blaming Daniel Jones for this, just stop watching football. Go watch backgammon, whatever it is you want to watch, because it's ridiculous.
Do you remember?
And that's exactly what I said to Scott. Scott Peterson. Sorry, Keith. Scott last week was, Jones is a bust. How can you possibly say he played his 16th game? And he was texting me during the game. He played his 16th game this week. How do you say? He said we've seen enough of a sample size. You've never, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to say that, you've never taken football seriously, or you've never watched football. And I know he's watched plenty of football. He's watched Dolphin games since Dan Marino left, and they've had 27 quarterbacks. And oh, by the way, Ryan Tannehill, the leash was 17 miles long. Every year you guys complained about Ryan Tannehill, and guess what? He leaves the Dolphins, and what does he do? He flourishes, right? So, first of all, I don't want to take any advice from any Dolphin fans on any quarterback. Don't give me that. And then, like I said today on the Facebook post, anybody who thinks that Jones is a bust at this point, maybe he's a bust, but we're not going to determine that right now.
Oh, you'll show the picture in a minute. In a minute.
A quarterback's I guess go ahead and put that up. I mean, but a quarterback's success matters strictly on his tools. First and foremost, now I'm dumbing it down for Scott Peterson and anybody else out there who's bitching. You remove the banner. There you go. Yeah. First and foremost, he needs protection. So you ever see Naked Gun? That's what I was getting at. Naked Gun, I think it was 2.5. When Leslie Nielsen and the other lady were about to have sex, and they're like, "We need protection." They have a full body condom on. Daniel Jones needs a full body condom. He's not getting any protection. He's getting killed out there, and if he's not getting killed, he's on the run. You can't expect a quarterback to find his open men while he is constantly under pressure. Dave Brown. If you're a Giants fan long enough, remember Dave Brown. Now, I'm not saying Dave Brown is as talented as Danny Jones, but he sucked. Why? Because he was on his back half the game. Okay, we need the offensive line to glue together. Secondly, we need a running back. We just lost our premier running back. So Danny Jones is up against it. And with that said, let's look at his first 16 games in the NFL.
Before I start, nobody watching this needs to chime in and say that we're comparing Daniel Jones overall to Peyton Manning. We can't do it. We are comparing these small sample size of 16 games, one season. Same record, 3-13. Daniel Jones has more passing yards. Daniel Jones has the same number of touchdowns. And oh, by the way, in his first year last year, 24 touchdowns. And same amount of touchdowns. And again, I'm not comparing. Same amount of touchdowns as Tom Brady in fewer games. He's got 17 interceptions to Peyton's 28 interceptions. Now, this doesn't tell the full story of fumbles, lost, and whatnot. That's okay. The point of the matter is you don't decide somebody is a bust or boom in 16 games. You don't do it in 18 games. You don't do it in 20 games. Now, there's no secret sauce here. There's no, okay, at the end of 36 games, he's a bust or a boom. You start building around. And if one more person says draft a quarterback, what, Tim, we've talked about this back and forth. I think we mentioned, both of us mentioned it last week. What is another quarterback going to do back there? He's going to run for his life. Daniel Jones, this is not even taking consideration rushing yards. 2 games ago, the Giants had like 67 yards rushing. 49 of it came from Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. And those of you who want Eli back, I've seen that also. Listen, we love Eli. Love Eli. Brought us 2 Super Bowls. But Eli Manning would not stand a chance right now. In fact, we would be far worse than our winless record because you think Eli Manning can escape? Can he escape the pocket? Can he rush? Can he slide? Can he slide
well, his sliding
without
is really
fumbling?
ridiculous. But you're right. The sacks would be much higher because Danny Jones, he can escape. Now he's not.
And he's
not
still
the
on pace
speedy
for
guy.
50, to be sacked 50 times.
Ridiculous. It's a real tragedy. And now I do think we have some good talent on that offensive line. I do think they can get together and become a cohesive unit, but I just hope it's not at the expense of Danny Jones' health. And to draft a quarterback, if let's say we suck, let's say we go 2-14, and at this point, I'll live with it because we'll get a top draft pick. But if we go 2-14 and you waste that top draft pick on a freaking quarterback, I swear to God, I will become a fan of like some college team and never watch NFL again. You need to draft some defensive talent. We need to get to the quarterback. Yes, we have some talent in the offensive line. They're not working well right now. They'll glue. No offensive line works together well right away. You have to gel. You have to understand each other. It takes sometimes a year, sometimes less. It takes time. We need to start getting back to our roots. What are our roots, Tim, as a Giant team?
Defense and smash mouth running.
Boom. Okay. Yes, we have Saquon, but we need somebody else behind him. Remember Thunder and Lightning? We need somebody else behind him that can also pound when Saquon needs a break. Yes, Saquon can't do 3 downs every freaking possession. It's just not possible. Give the kid a break. Let him run 2 and sit. 2 and sit. Take somebody on defensive line who can break through the offense and make the quarterback suffer. Punish the offensive line and the other team's quarterback. That's how you win football games. You know how else you win football games? Coverage. You hurry up, you rush the quarterback so he has no decision, and you get a back team who can cover for 5 seconds. We don't have either. Sorry, we don't.
And like you said, Trevor Lawrence getting drafted is just going to get hurt.
Yep.
I mean, the 2 New York teams, who needs a quarterback? The Jets do need a quarterback. I'm sorry. I was never impressed with Darnold, and I think he's already a bust. I think he is a bust. But then again, he has no talent around him either. So I don't know if I would go that route even with the Jets right now. Who was he had? A banged-up Le'Veon Bell? Who cares?
Yeah, he had a banged up.
Garbage.
He had some talent receiving wise. Robbie Anderson, who never came to Robbie Anderson have a hell of a first few games down in Carolina, so that might tell you something. Teddy Bridgewater is doing it down there, but with Darnold, you saw how badly he missed on some very makeable passes, and any NFL quarterback should have made them. But we've seen them, 4 feet to the left and leading guys to get hurt. I've watched Daniel Jones. Yes, he's made his mistakes. He's played 16 games, but I've watched Daniel Jones thread the needle before. Maybe it wasn't a wise pass. It was one in particular that I can remember. It was to Slayton last year. 3 guys, 3 defenders converging, but he thread the needle. Gave me a heart attack.
That one this year too. He threw to the entire defense. The entire defense, yes. He threw it to them. He's like, I can make this pass. Dude, no, you can't make that pass. You're not there yet. So don't try to make that pass again. But yeah, again, he's a young kid trying to make a name for himself. And I said it last week too. I said it every week. The dude's got balls. The balls is steel.
Yeah.
He's staying in there, but it can only go for so long until he has PTSD like Eli does. I bet Eli checks when he gets out of bed in the morning, check the defenders, making sure no one's going to hit him when he walks down the hallway, because that's how messed up he was towards the last 2 years. Bringing Trevor Lawrence in isn't going to do nothing but get Trevor Lawrence hurt, and then have him and then start all over again. If the top draft picks on the board, we're going to have a top 5 pick. I hate to tell you, we're going to have a top 5 pick. If the top 5 guys are all offensive linemen, you get the biggest, nastiest, ugliest beast that you can get, and you draft them. Then you got to get a defensive leader. We need one of those mean. I mean, I love Blake Martinez. I do. I think he's played phenomenally. Sure. Yep. But we need one of those. I said I can't wait to see McKinney come back, because he said he was scheduled to play everywhere: safety, corner, linebacker. He's gonna blitz. He's gonna do everything we need him to do. and unfortunately got hurt. But that's another guy we need. We need another offensive lineman. We need that beast on defense. Then you start progressing. But right now, it ain't gonna happen. I don't care who you throw back there. You could throw Brady back there.
Yeah.
Brady will die.
Brady will die.
He's
43-year-old Brady's going to die, yeah.
43-year-old Brady will die. He will die. Plain and simple. So I don't know what people are talking about. They're crazy.
They're out of their minds, going through some of these Facebook things here. Getting back to remember some of the prep that we talked about last week. I didn't know this until today. I was listening to some of the interviews with the coaching staff, and I did not know that all the injured guys, including Saquon, traveled to LA with the team. So did Jabril Peppers, and they asked him why, and he says they're captains. They're captains. They provide insight on and off the field, and we want them with us, and they are more than happy to. So I thought that was actually pretty phenomenal. Shepard also traveled. He's obviously the closest to returning, but the other guys had no need to travel, and they did it anyway. And who knows? Like Tim said, to give up 17 points to an insane Rams offense, and we're going to face another insane offense. That's nice. Rub it in, why don't you? Another insane offense this week, but a really shitty defense, and it's a division game. So
a fourth quarter offense.
Right?
A fourth quarter offense.
And people out there, I'm not going to mention any names, Kyle, have, Dak as a top 3, top 5 quarterback in the league. Hey, look at he's passing for 400. He's passing for 400 yards because the team's getting down by 20, 25 points every week. And Matt Ryan,
you have to abandon the run. You got to pass.
And Matt Ryan also is putting up big numbers because out of necessity. Bad teams. Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's another example. I'm not comparing Fitzpatrick to this guy, but just an example of how lower tiered. Huh?
Fitz what?
Fitz Magic.
There you go.
How lower tiered quarterbacks can put up these big numbers week in and week out because they need to. And one of the last questions that they asked, and it was from Bruce Beck. I remember that guy from NBC up there, the local channel up in New York. But he asked, he said, "Hey, when you look at the standings, yes, you're in last place, but all the teams ahead of you have one win. You have none. So do you talk to your team about, hey, we're only one game out, or how do you do it?" And he gave the politically correct response. Every team going into every matchup is 0-0 that weekend. I call bullshit on that. If I was the coach, you got to look at the bright side, right? Yes, you're 0-4. It's a disaster. You're not playing well in any facet. You got injuries up the yin yang, and yet you're still a game out of first place. So I guess if there was any bit of optimism, or if you could look at it the pessimistic way, any way for the Giants to screw up a top pick is to win the division at 6-10.
No, seriously, you're absolutely right. And Joe Judge, honestly, he gets a pass this year.
Yeah,
we're going into week 5, so he needs to show some improvement. He can't go winless because first year or not, he will not get that leeway. But if he shows some improvement, things get a little better, and he shows his ability to adapt, we will be in a good position. I believe in Joe Judge. He comes indirectly from a Giant system, right? Why you say no?
I disagree with Raul with that. Raul, I disagree with you with that. I just disagree because, again, Jason Garrett, I'm not blaming. Jason Garrett doesn't have the tools. We don't have the tools. We have we scored 21 points total yet? I don't even know.
No. So back to
11 points a game.
Back to Joe Judge. He comes indirectly. I thought you were saying no to me, Tim. He comes indirectly from a Giant system, and that's a Giant system of winning. It's a Giant system of pride. It's a Giant system of kicking ass, and he comes I wouldn't even say indirectly. He comes directly from that. Tom Coughlin, Bill Parcells, and that other coach. What's his name up in New England? I forget. Probably
Big
all
Bill.
y'all remember. But
Big Bill.
he
Rhymes
comes
with
from that
Schmellichek.
line, and guess where all those folks come from? As a matter of fact, guess where Lombardi comes from? You remember the trophy that the championship is named after? So the Giants have a long line of pride, a long line of success, a long line of great coaches, and Judge is directly attached to that. So I believe in Judge. My point I'm getting at is it's going to take a little bit of patience, okay? He's going to build this team up. Going for a quarterback in the draft and just abandoning our first round draft pick, a guy who's talented, the guy that shows what he can and can't do, and what he can do is a lot more than what he can't do, is amazing. And the other fact of the matter is, when it comes to winning a game, you know what it takes? I'm going to put Raul's other comment up. It takes an offensive and defensive line. Giants games, Giants championships are won in the trenches. And we don't have the trenches right now. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little long.
Our side of the trench is empty.
Yeah.
Who led in rushing last week? Who led in rushing? Daniel Jones.
I
Again,
think it was Raul Velasquez.
45 yards. And well, how about Gallman tied him with 45? So technically, this is our best rushing week ever
Yeah.
this year.
How
Freeman
many
had
did Freeman
33.
have?
If he had 33, Dion
Holy
how
shit!
many
We
did
broke
they make it
100.
We
We broke
100.
100.
Yeah.
We broke 100. It took 7 guys, but we broke 100.
How many rushing yards did Dave Meggett have?
Dave Meggett is he a pedophile now?
How about
Is
he
he
really?
pedophile?
Oh God, I didn't know that. Really?
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he went pedophile.
How about Joe Morris?
Joe Morris
That's hilarious.
is
He
non-pedophile.
went pedophile.
Thank God, somebody.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm not, but I don't quote me on that.
So, quick, just rapid response here, rapid fire.
False.
Do you
True.
or false or yes or
Christopher
no
Columbus.
or 1 and 2?
False. True.
Do you have any issue with the play calling so far on either side of the football?
I mean, it's. I want to say no. Again, it's coming down to right now the talent. I mean, if your defensive, what's the defensive coordinator? I always forget his name. What's his name?
Sorry,
Whatever his name is.
Mosquito.
When you call on a blitz and you guys just can't get there, is that his fault?
Right.
It's not his fault. You can't get there. Same thing with the offense. We're going to run this reverse. All right, awesome. We're going to run a reverse. Guy's dropping the ball in the backfield. CJ Board. Where the hell did he come from? CJ Board. It's like, what's going on with this? You know, kind of stuff. I'm not blaming. Not yet. I'm not going to say I won't. It won't come to that. Thank you, sir. I say it won't come to that. But right now, no, I am not going to blame the playing calling either side.
I think Angel Hernandez has been completely unfair. He's calling things way out of the strike. Oh wait, we're talking football. I'm sorry. You know,
I like what Tyler said too. By the way,
I haven't had a lot of Angel Hernandez moments in the NFL right now. I gotta say that Angel Hernandez is terrible. It's a whole other show though. I haven't really had any call-outs on the officiating, and I've watched other games in the Giants. Every year you're gonna have something. Oh, one of those moments. It's so close. But there's been years, for example, I remember the Packers catching a non-touchdown that knocked us out of the playoffs. There's a lot of years where I can recite off the top of my head terrible officiating. I haven't had much of an issue this year. I can
simplify. Steve or Keith, right now, I want you to draw me a picture of a frog on a log. Can you do it right now?
I mean, I could try.
It would look like a disaster.
It would.
But no, you can't do it. You want to why? Because you don't have.
I played Pictionary before.
You don't have the tools in front of you. That's what I'm trying to. That's my point.
That is from
the tools
Wolf of
in
Wall
front
Street.
of you.
Do you remember that? No, not the frog part, but the pen.
Yeah,
Some
the pen.
With his pen.
Some with his pen. Exactly.
Can you sign that for me?
I can't. Why? You don't have a pen. There you go. It's the same thing.
Here's your pen.
If you don't have the
so what
tools,
is Angel Hernandez's fault? Wait, wrong sport again. Damn it.
Like I said, if you don't have the tools, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can call all the plays in the world. You can't do it. Tyler, I do agree with you. With you. As one of the mistakes he's making, he's looking at his receiver right away. You know what that number one receiver is because he's staring at him. He's got to can't be doing that all the time.
You know, he's doing that a lot. Danny Cannell. Remember Danny Cannell?
Yeah, he used to stare at the guy.
How can you forget? Yeah.
I'm
Follow him around
going
the field.
I'm going to throw the tumor.
He would just shout it out like Zach Greinke when I'm throwing your fastball. I'm throwing the tumor.
And look, wait, another stat to prove it. Evan Ingram had 6 receptions. 6 receptions. How many yards? 35. 35 yards. That's it. Out of 6 receptions. No time to throw the ball. Got to throw the ball.
So that I asked that question because we've talked about how this is a different, the results are kind of the same or worse, but this season has been a little bit different with the exception of games 2 and 3, where, the first game we saw some positives, the fourth game we see some positives, and it's not necessarily, we were blaming the play. Remember the play call was just awful the last few years. And then, see, Tyler is talking about hate these people that are calling Saquon and DJ Bush. First of all, how could you possibly? All right, Vaughn Richards,
He's
UK.
better than the fat-faced Ewok. I don't care what anybody says. He's better than him.
And you know what?
We've got international guys.
We're asking Saquon to do too much right now. Truthfully, right? Saquon needs to be the option. Just like every piece of the offense needs to be an option, not the focus. If the defense is rushing in, you throw out. If the defense is out, you run. But our problem is we don't have an option because we're relying heavily on one or two things based on the fact that our offensive line sucks.
He doesn't have the time to allow plays to happen, allow receivers to get open. Allow receivers to make a move.
The defense is coming in, you throw out. The defense is going out, you run. That's what it is. But we don't have that option because our offensive line is not opening up that option.
Yeah, we don't have a running game. The defense just has to prepare for the pass. They don't have to worry about the running game because we don't have one. When Daniel Jones is the lead rusher every week, they probably don't even practice against the run. But like you 4 guys up front and one of you linebackers, you take care of that. We're all going to sit back and cover these receivers who aren't that good. Sorry, but they're not. They're not that good.
Vaughn, welcome from UK, bro.
Yeah, UK.
And Vaughn, we spoke about this. We talked about it leading into the season about how big of it. We're going to find out how big of a deal the preseason is this year when we don't have one. And there's twofold. Exactly what you just said. With a team like the Giants right now, or any team that has a new staff, new coach, new staff, any type of new players in there, it's more of a difficult situation because you didn't have that on the field practice. Sorry, Keith, I'm going to get that out of your way. You didn't have the on the field practice to kind of get together, mold as a unit and as a team. The other thing is the injuries. In the first 2 weeks, I think it's like a 20% uptick this year in major injuries than last year and the year before that and the year before that. You've seen a bunch of ACL tears, and unfortunately that happened to us with Saquon. And it's been happening around the league. Guys out for the season, out for 4 to 6 weeks, out for 2 months, and whatnot. So I think those are two things there.
And COVID, don't forget COVID, because usually in the beginning, when guys get drafted, a guy's careers come in the team. Like Daniel Jones will take the offensive lineman out. He'll meet with his receivers in the offseason. I mean, Eli used to take his friends to the park in New Jersey, get his receivers together. We're going to go play in New Jersey or some random park, be there. We're going to run routes, and we're going to start practice now. You can't do that this year because of COVID. They lost a little bit of camaraderie. They lost a little bit of timing on because of that. You get rid of COVID, again, it might be a whole different team. They might have gotten together. Daniel Jones would have taken his offensive line out to dinner and bought them Rolexes, whatever the hell quarterbacks do these days. I don't know what they do. But, again, COVID said, no, you can't do that. You can talk on a computer, but how much are you going to learn from somebody just by that alone? Hey, make sure you protect me, because I'm on the computer.
Hey, real quick.
I'm a little confused.
If I could just address 2 things real quick. Silas talking about Golden Tate being one-dimensional. It's not really his fault. He's being asked to do too much because there's not a lot of weapons on the team, and he's being asked to do more.
He should also focus on football.
Yeah.
Stop trying to fight Jalen Ramsey.
Was it about his sister or something, right?
It goes back a while.
If we were doing what we should be doing on a offense, he would be able to thrive. He should be a slot person, Golden Tate, but we're trying to make him everything. And as far as Shepard being a bust, again, if there's no
Maybe.
time for the quarterback to
Maybe.
sit back and throw,
Maybe.
right? Maybe, but there's no time for the quarterback to sit back and throw. How's the receiver going to have a chance to get open?
I think you can talk. I think you can have the conversation about Shepard with the injuries and whatnot, just like you can have the conversation about Ingram and his injuries. But the other guys, it's way too early.
Ingram has played great the last few weeks.
Yes, for
Again,
sure.
no
As long as when he's healthy,
no touchdowns,
Right.
of course, but he's still he's played great. Matter of fact, he's played so well. He's our number one trade bait right now. That's how good that season's going. He's our number one trade bait right now because we got no one else anybody else wants.
Dump him, get a pick.
Yeah, but you know what? Gettleman will say, "Give me a 7th round pick in 3 years for him." Idiot.
That's another
Idiot.
subject, gentlemen. Let's save that for the end of the show.
first of all, real quick on the picks, the Texans. So the Texans are 0-4, having a disastrous season. Next year, they're both of their first round pick and their second round pick to the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are loving every moment of them. Because
Yes.
the Dolphins just had 733 picks in this last draft. And now, next year, they're going to have their number one pick, the Texans' number one pick, which right now looks to be pretty damn good, and
They
then
might
the
have
second
one or
round
two.
pick. Right?
They might have one and two. You don't
And
know.
listen, I know the Dolphins haven't been so great this year, but the Dolphins have a good coaching staff. They have some good talent. A couple more picks. They're a couple more picks away from being dominant in that division for a couple of years.
Right, well,
Like another-
Buffalo might have something to say about that.
They'll be
But
behind the Buffalo Bills.
I
but,
have a question, and I don't know if anybody has the answer, and I have not heard the answer anywhere or anything that would make sense to me. But
False.
so Cam Newton tests positive for COVID, right? He doesn't play. The
John,
Patriots
I'll take
play.
anybody but Gettleman, John. Anybody. John, you
Oh,
can be
boy,
the
I don't know
GM
about Bill
next.
O'Brien.
I'll take John. You can be the GM. I'll take you over Gettleman.
So
I'm sorry. go ahead.
that's all right. The Patriots play their game, and they lose to the Chiefs. And now I almost said Gilmartin. Gilmore has tested positive for COVID. So Cam Newton tested positive on Friday. Gilmore tests positive today. Exactly in between, they played the Chiefs.
And hug Pat Mahomes.
This is a
Gilmore,
disaster. Right? This is a disaster waiting to happen, and we talked about this. This was the one sport that I didn't think was going to make it. The Titans had a couple more positives today, so who knows what's going to happen with their schedule, their game, and now what do you do with the Patriots and the Chiefs? I think it's becoming too much. The Packers have said they're not going to do fans for the foreseeable future now because there's an uptick there, but. Does the commissioner think that the NFL just cannot be shut down? And somebody explain that to me how that works.
Is Goodell that arrogant? Yes.
Is he that right? Is he that arrogant to say no?
Yes.
It's not a big deal.
But one simple thing that I don't understand why more people aren't doing it: shields. Why is nobody wearing a full face mask shield? You know why? Because they're not allowed. Remember when Justin Tuck tried to wear the Darth Vader?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Why not?
The no fun league.
How about a freaking shield covering? Everyone has to wear the shield. You don't wear the shield, you don't get on the field. Hey, it rhymes. I like it. I'm gonna trademark it. You don't wear the shield, you don't get on the field. They should all be doing that because, like you said, especially on the line, you're spitting. What about in a fumble pileup?
Oh my God!
I've been on the bottom of those things. They are not fun at all. There's nothing fun about
biting.
Fighting, gouging, spitting, punching. It is the worst thing to be at the bottom of that pile. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Shields.
All right. So it does. So it does not make sense to anybody on the We Stomp You Out show.
Oh, Vaughn.
So this Vaughn, you're a first time watcher, I think, and we appreciate the shit out of that. We have been talking for this is our third season doing this show. We're approaching like 35 episodes, and we talk about this almost every week. It actually became a running joke last year in it that 3rd and 12, there's either a penalty to make it 3rd and short or a tight end from anybody from a rookie to 73-year-old Jason Witten. Will and 16, 17 yards or a touchdown, and so
third and 12, right? Third and 33. When there's a third and 33, and you have no confidence in your team stopping that third and 33, you've got a problem, and that's how it's been.
We're at the edge of our seats.
Like third and 33, great. They're going to get 34 yards for that play, and they do almost every time.
So I will say that the defense, and we mentioned this before, the defense last week was really good, though, especially considering the amount of time they spent on the field. The ridiculous
first drive. The first drive alone was
stupid amount of time they spent on the field. They did a good job. They should have been on the field probably like 30% less. Any successful football team, that the offense is out there at least 40 minutes, 30 some odd minutes. I don't know the ratio for this last game, but I know that defense was out there a lot.
It was, and then it kind of balanced out a little bit at one point. The Giants the Giants had a longer drive, and at one point the Rams only had time possession advantage by like 3 minutes or so. I don't know what it ended up as, but it was a big gap, and then the Giants closed the gap a little bit there. It's hard to control the clock when you don't have a line or a running game.
Is that the same mic, Faraci? Is that the same mic that we all shared on our original podcast with you, myself, and Rodriguez?
Yes.
Wow.
Although it was hanging upside down at the
Hall of Fame.
Right? That's why I could never get rid of it. It's got this. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's got a dent in it.
I remember the dent. It's still there. Yeah, that's when I got pissed at you.
Can never get rid of it. Yeah.
I remember at the beginning of the season we talked about it, and I think this is what's going to happen. It should go back to this. The defense, just like in the 80s, should not talk to the offense. Said, listen, you little crybaby bitches, go out there and do something. Oh, we don't want to bother with you. Remember
Tim,
how much?
Do you remember? To your point,
hated Phil Simms and the
Tim,
offense.
To your point, do you remember? You specifically what you're saying back in the Parcells, and shortly after Parcells left, unfortunately, it was like after that. But do you remember the New York media? They would beef at each other, the defense and the offense, in the media, criticizing each other. I'm out here working, bums. We can't
shut everyone out. These idiots got to score, and then the court will be like, "Oh yeah, well we're going to score 35 next week."
We were living true to the Giants, New York Giants,
but it worked. And
tradition of defense at the time.
Yeah, Parcells loved every minute of it.
And we are not living to that tradition of defense now. We stopped living to that tradition of defense after the last Super Bowl, really. I mean, we did lose a lot of talent. We did have an abundance of talent, but we didn't redraft defensive talent. We brought
another new name.
Welcome.
Yeah, we've had a lot of new names the last couple of weeks.
Share us out. Share us out. Love.
Hey guys, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Share out our page. We do this every week during the season. Every once in a while, if there's big news in the off season, share us out. Give us some love. We love you guys. Thank you.
And Russ, I believe another new name. Looking for a prediction. We're gonna get to that right now, actually. So as they say in the biz, stay tuned. We're going to get to predictions here. Let's talk about how we are doing so far. Last week, I finally finished first place for 1 week. I was 12-3. Let's go to the people that matter here. Keith went 11-4 last week. Tim is 10-5, but your worst performance of the year because you've been sizzling hot.
I thought the Jets were going to pull that game off. I was close. I got one of the miserable teams right. I got the Eagles right at least.
So, it's funny. Every game I agree with you, Tim.
Which was a bold prediction. Exactly. That's why 11-4.
That was the one game I didn't agree with you on, Tim.
Eagles?
No, Jets.
No, the Jets.
Hey, I thought they were going to pull that game out. I was close. I thought they were going to pull it out. I really did.
It was actually a pretty decent game for two shitty teams playing. It was it wasn't a bad game. Tim goes 10-5. Rodriguez goes 9-6. And then the overall standings now for the show: Timmy is 49-14. I am 2 games out with a 47-16 record. Get down here. Rodriguez is 40-23, 9 games out, and Keith is 39-24, 10 games out. So right now it's a 2-team race with Rodriguez and Keith looking to make a move this coming week. So Keith, did you send in your picks yet?
I did not. We can do it live right now.
We'll do it live. Do it live. Tim, I know you sent yours in, so I appreciate that. For following directions, thank you so much. Keith is always such a rebel.
I'm bored at work.
Listen,
don't let him off the hook.
I just got off of vacation yesterday, and I've been working. Not like you, who've been just sitting home and doing nothing.
All right.
Also, I indulged a little Monday night after the hearing of the passing of my friend. So,
same here.
Yeah.
Needed it.
Steve, I love the 4-3. I hate the 3-4 with a fiery passion. And we talk about this too. You got to have 4 good linebackers to play a 3-4, and we do not have it.
3-4 is trash, even with 3 good linebackers.
4-3.
So, Steve, so your last name, I'm going to pronounce it Penacci, right? And Keith, how do you pronounce my last name?
Faraci.
We're blood brothers, Steve. Steve Penacci, Steve Faraci.
I think his name is more Panacci. Yours is Faraci. So don't get yourself too excited.
Good. Come back next week and spread the love, Steve.
Yeah. Keith, Keith's an asshole. All right, so let's get to.
No, I am. I own
Let's get to this week's picks. Let me just move this over so I can see your beautiful faces as we do this. All right. Usually,
I know you. Steve, right there is talking about me. Thanks, Steve. I love you, bro.
Let me grab this here so we can see the
oh my God!
lines.
No, hold on. Yes, stop with the freaking zone crap. We're not a zone team. We're the Giants.
I don't like the zone on any team, football or basketball.
It doesn't work on
I don't like it.
It does. That's why the Cowboys are scoring a lot too. Teams like, we're up by 30. Might as well just play zone. Might as well just play prevent. And next thing you know, Whack is throwing for 500 yards. Give me a break.
I got my thumb and wonder what's up my ass. Yeah. Sorry. Isn't that terrible? That was sorry.
All right. Let's get to our picks this week so everybody can lock in their bets and make a lot of money off of us. 40% should come to us.
Apparently you should listen to Faraci, not me, but we'll see.
Well, Tim's in first place. Tim had one week. Where did you get? Were you like 15-1 one
Tim,
week?
Yeah.
No, I went 15-1, then 16-0.
Ridiculous.
First 2 weeks.
Insane. It's insane.
So can Tim go before me so I can copy his picks?
Well, Tim in the group chat, unlike some that don't like to follow directions, his picks are already there. They don't like to read the group chat. They don't like to listen to what the group chat says.
I just got off vacation. I've been working like 13-hour days. So listen, yeah. Now give me a beaker face.
All right.
Beaker.
Thank you for recognizing that, please. All right. Hey, you guys who are enjoying the show, please share us out so that we can get more people to make some more money right now because we're about to get into our picks.
And Troy, just be patient. It's coming.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Troy. We love our fans.
Clown before business.
All right. So Thursday night game, the Bucks and the Bears. The Bucks. How do I do this in a way that's very comfortable for me without dropping everything?
You need lotion?
All right. The Bucks are 4-point favorites in Chicago. Keith, let's start with you.
I want Tim's pick first.
No.
I think I'll go with the Bucks, depending on what Tim says, though.
Timmy?
Bucks. I'm going with the Bucks. I think the Bears are having too much personal problems, and I think Brady found his groove. So I'm going Bucks.
5 touchdowns. I think so. And just for you guys who are just joining us this week or last week and just repeating, we don't do the picks based on the spread. I do say the spread just to say who's the favorite, but the picks are straight up wins and losses. We head to Sunday's game. This is a rough rough watch maybe. The Panthers head to Hotlanta, or Craplanta, as I'd like to say. How are the Falcons favored in any game this year? It doesn't matter if they're up by 25. Yeah, but they're going to lose the game. No, it's a close line. It's a 2-point. Falcons are a 2-point favorite. You want Timmy to go first again, Keith?
I'm picking Hotlanta, Craplanta, Dirty Birds.
Dirty Birds.
Unless
Timmy, who
Tim's
you got?
become different.
I'm actually going with the Panthers. I like what Bridgewater's done. I like what they've done down there. They're surprising. They're surprising.
Hold on. Can I reevaluate my pick?
No. And you know what?
I'm only right till I'm wrong, Keith. So
you know, they lose their premier running back, but Mike Brown comes in, steps up, and does a fantastic job. They've got a great line there, and guys like Robbie Anderson, who was a perennial, he's got talent kind of guy on the Jets, is now actually showing that talent with I think two or three of the 4 first games over 100 yards receiving there.
So sometimes it's just a different system. It helps you, look at Ryan Tannehill.
Exactly.
Titans up there.
7 years with the Dolphins.
Be the Super Bowl favorites this year in the AFC, what people think. So you don't know. You don't know.
As long as they can get rid of the COVID situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Next up.
This year. COVID's not this year.
All right. This is going to be a little out of order, Tim. So if you're going by your list, actually maybe not. It is. The Rams head to Washington. See, now Vegas odds are like they clearly think the Giants are much worse of a team than Washington because the Rams were favored by 13.5 against us and only 7.5 against the team with no name. So we'll start. Timmy.
And Haskins is out.
Haskins just got benched.
He's now third string, and they're throwing some regular kid in there, so I am definitely taking the Rams.
Well, it's the kid, Kyle.
Well, then I know who I'm picking now.
What's his name? He played for the Panthers last year. Did actually a pretty good job.
Cam
Newton?
Tanny, something like that?
Kyle. Oh, my God.
Newton. Cam Newton. COVID-19?
Dick Buckus.
Anyway, I was going to say Kyle Orton. Remember that guy?
Dave Gettleman.
Another quarterback great. Another Bear great.
Yeah. So, and then this other guy who thought to possibly have a life-threatening leg injury last year, he's back. No big deal. No biggie.
All right.
He's back. Don't do it to yourself. Kyle.
Allen?
Yes.
Your friend of Panacci. Panacci.
Hey. Is it
Good
Allen?
job, Steve.
Yeah.
Not you, Farach. I'm talking
Thank
about
you.
Panacci.
All right, let's move it along here. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Did you guys pick? I didn't even hear you guys
pick. No, we didn't. What just happened?
You got sidetracked. I picked the Rams.
You picked the Rams. I'm going with the Rams also. Keith?
I got the Rams.
Of course you do.
Over the Redskins.
Voldemort. Voldemort's. All right, now we can move on. Jacksonville heads to Houston to play the Texans. The Texans, who do not own a victory this year, are 6-point favorites. Keith, do it.
This is a hard one.
This is a hard one. This is a hard one.
That's what she said.
It's kind of almost as hard as Timmy makes me, so I'm gonna have to go with the Texans.
Texans for Keith. All right, I'll go next. I'm gonna go with the Texans also. They have too much talent on their team, even without Hopkins to lose. I mean, who knows? but I'm going Houston. Timmy.
See, now this is where I'm taking a shot because Bill O'Brien got fired. I don't know if that's going to be a plus or a minus. But I'm going Jags. I don't know why.
So you're saying
no?
No. So based on that pick, Tim, I'm gonna put $100. $100 on Jacksonville. They're plus 235 to win. $100 will win me 235.
And what do I get?
Well, let's see what happens first.
I'm just taking a shot because I said, when sometimes when teams they might band together because they hate Bill O'Brien and score 45 points, or they may fall apart. We don't know. But the Texans are probably the best no-win team there is right now. But
I
don't know.
Shut up. Keith.
I'm going
Keith, I might need a couch to sleep on if I lose that bet. All right,
bro, you're always welcome to my house. You know that.
Thank you, buddy.
I just as long as your wife don't hold it against me, because then you can't sleep in my house. Because your wife is cool people.
I'll hold it against
you.
you.
That, you're always welcome at my house.
All right, thank you, buddy. All right. What was that, Timmy?
A lot of undertones on this show today.
I don't know. Keith came back really revved up, ready to go.
Listen, I've been on vacation. I'm like, actually, I unplugged so much, I don't even know what you're all talking about.
All right. Next up, the Cardinals head to play the Jets. The Cardinals, as the road team, which who cares this year, 7.5 point favorites. I am taking the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
How can you not go with the Cardinals?
Go with the Jets again, Keith. You went with the Jets last week. Why don't you go with the Jets, you Jet fan?
I didn't go with the Jets last week. I went against the Jets last week.
Yeah, I know. And you did a good job with that. All right, so you're going with the Cardinals.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have the Feagles. The Eagles. It's an all Pennsylvania matchup as the Eagles head to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Steelers are a 7-point favorite here. I'm going Steelers.
Steelers.
No, what are you pausing for? Yeah, do it.
Because I think this is going to be a close game, honestly. A lot of people don't think so. But I think at the end of the game, you know who's going to make it to the chopper? The Steelers.
All right, we're going to skip over our game because we're going to talk about that right as we wrap up. The Colts head to Cleveland to play the Browns. The Colts are a 1.5 point favorite against the Browns this week. That defense looking mighty good this year. Tim, who you got in this one?
I got the diarrhea doo-doo Browns.
Doo-doo Brown.
I think they got their offense in check. So I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be dangerous, but they're gonna win a couple games now. So
Odell woke up.
With the doo-doos.
Odell woke up last week. Keith, who you got this one? Colts and Browns.
I think I have to go with the crap. Listen, shit on your chest, Browns. Yeah. Was that vulgar? Sorry if you're offended.
I will just click the explicit button.
Yeah, that's all we got to do here. Man.
This was the second hardest. This is the second hardest.
This is a tough one. Last week when Dave was doing the picks, Tim kept on pointing to his head. Not the heart, but the head. I think the Colts are going to win this game. I don't. Maybe it's just that I can't envision the Browns being 4-1. But I think the Colts win this game. Their running game is great. So are the Browns. I mean, the Browns' offense. If you get a better quarterback in there, the Browns' offense would be insane. It's just insane because you got two beast running backs. You got Landry, who can not only throw touchdown passes, but he catches he's in the slot, and then you got Odell with the deep ball, and then they also brought in was it Hooper went there? Who's their tight end? Who was ridiculous for the Falcons. So if you get a quarterback with a half a brain in there, that offense could be just unstoppable. Mm-hmm. But I digress. All right, next up, the Vikings head to Seattle. Play the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think this is an easy one.
I'm flapping like a Seahawk.
I see flapping wings over there, so...
Hold on, I got news in from the Vikings. Hold on.
Din-it, din-it.
He's dead already.
Oh, so I have to go with the Seahawks.
All right. All right, so we all go with the Seahawks here. Next up, the Chargers head to Nolens, play the Saints. Saints are 7.5-point favorites in this one.
Who dat?
Who dat?
That's what I got.
This dude doesn't age. I gotta go who that too.
He did in the
mean,
first couple weeks, but he
But he does it every
he
year.
had St. Augustine and got the Fountain of Youth last week.
Doesn't he every year? Like, oh, this is. I mean, he's done. And then
Well, this was where the first two games. I think he averaged like 7 yards downfield or something, or something crazy like that. All right, so we do a clean sweep of the Saints, and then this particular site that I'm using just decided to go nuts, and I don't know where the rest of the games went. So let's choose the rest of them without any lines here. Raiders at the Chiefs. Pretty simple here, right?
Chiefs.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if that's. I'm picking Chiefs, but I don't know if it's simple. The Raiders have shown some spunk and some talent. I think Mahomes is the key and the
Mahomie.
win, but
Mahomie.
I don't think
And,
it's going to be as easy as everybody thinks.
and who knows if there's going to be a game? I mean, Gilmore.
Well, there's that too.
We'll see what happens with that, but I'm pretty anxious to see how the Goodell and the NFL is going to handle this. I'll say this. The NBA probably did it best. With the results of what was going on with COVID,
And the NHL. NHL too.
yeah, right. And the NHL, I don't think they had one positive test, if I'm not mistaken there. Baseball with the happenings at the beginning of the year, and maybe to their benefit, where they had to bring out 19 different rookie pitchers. The Marlins did this year, and teams didn't see those pitchers, and they wound up going to the playoffs in a shortened season.
I'm just curious. Who is
baseball
Troy
didn't
hugging?
handle it too bad.
Is Troy hugging all of us or only one of us?
Group hug. Boom.
Group
Bring
hug.
it in. Group hug. All right. Next up, Bills at Titans. This one I am going to do with my heart, and for Raphael out there, I am going with Buffalo. I might have gone with Buffalo either way, but that pushed me over the top there. Tim, who you got in this one? Yeah,
I'm going Buffalo. I think Titans they got a lot of problems with the COVID stuff, so I'm going.
Yeah.
I like Buffalo anyway. I like Buffalo to win that game. Josh Allen's a beast, and he's on a mission.
Yep, and Rafael not going Buffalo here.
Yep. All right. The Dolphins head cross country to play the 49ers this week.
This was a hard one. This was is Garoppolo back? Is he playing? Who else playing that team?
I don't think we've seen. I don't think they've seen enough practice sessions for him. Kittle obviously
49ers.
back. He went nuts.
49ers. I hate Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And by the way, enough already with Fitzpatrick. Bring Tua in there.
Yeah, it's time.
What are they waiting for? Seriously, Dolphins, don't get all dramatic with this stuff. Don't be that team. Just bring Tua in. He was the guy that everybody was talking about all off season.
They can do the
and
hot
all leading up to the draft. Right?
I love those things. I can watch them all day. Bring them in. Let them play.
Tua era. Do it. Keith.
Well, from what I heard, that Garoppolo actually has been in practice, and it's not confirmed, but he has a chance to play this week. Him having a chance to play, Dolphins traveling all the way to the West Coast, and how the Dolphins have been performing this year, I'm going Niners.
Yeah. Garoppolo or not, I'm still going with the 49ers here. Potentially, we don't know if this game's going to happen anymore based on some COVID tests today, but the Broncos head to New England to play the Patriots. Keith, let's start with you on this one.
I'm going Patriots.
Yep. Timmy?
I'm going Patriots in a very low-scoring game. No Cam, no Stephon Gilmore. Broncos could take advantage of that, but they won't.
They can.
So
Yeah.
I'm going.
They won't.
So I'm going low-scoring. Patriots win.
And by the way, told you to start Melvin Gordon last week, and he went off finally. You heard it here, right here on the We Stomped You Out show.
You got a good one.
The Bengals, who, I mean, how can you not love, the kid at quarterback, Burrow? He's done pretty well. He's looked like a seasoned vet at some points so far this year. But they're going to Baltimore to play the Ravens, and don't think that's going to be enough.
It's Christmas birthday. Baltimore.
I'm going with the Ravens. Baltimore.
All right. Well, we're all going to pick the Ravens on this one, and then let's do it. Giants and Cowboys.
Before you all pick who you're going to choose, I flew up to Jersey this weekend. Where are they playing? In Dallas or Jersey?
Playing in Dallas.
I flew over to Dallas this weekend.
That's what I was waiting for.
And I actually got into the coaching meeting, and I heard Joe Judge address the team. I'm going to pick the Giants because this is what Joe Judge said.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. They hear the lamentation of the women.
So I do want to say you were right the first time because the Giants haven't traveled yet. So you did go to Jersey in the midst of your Keys vacation.
That's right. I was wherever they were, wherever I was.
They were there. They were with you in the Keys.
Let me play that again.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. They hear the lamentation of the women.
Going with the Giants.
It got a little warm, so I gotta. Sorry, guys.
Oh my God. Close my eyes. Hold on, I'm gonna open my eyes again.
Don't look directly into it. And by the way, you're talking about my brightness. It's got to be bright with you got sunset right behind you, and this has to be brighter.
That's
right?
in your eyes, in your whatever.
All right, so the Cowboys obviously
Girls.
Cowgirls. Sorry, the Cowgirls of Dallas. Obviously, they have the offense. They just don't use it until later in the game, and their defense has been atrocious. So I forget who said it earlier, but if the Cowboys, if the Giants can't put up some points on this team, I'll be a little. I'm not gonna blame it on the schemes. I'm not gonna go that far, but it's gonna be disappointing if they can't put up some points on this defense. Who, the Browns put up 49 points on them. The Falcons put up a ton of points on them. Granted, those teams have healthier weapons than us, but we got to put up some points this week. And the encouraging sign is that we held the Rams offense to 17 points. I guess Plax was playing defense, but it's going to be it's always a tough matchup. When you're dealing with the Cowgirls or the Feagles or Redskins, or the Washington football team, I don't really count in there. So all that being said, it's in Dallas. They have fans, so whatever home field advantage this year is out there will be there. So what do you? And we do pick the score on the Giants game. So I'm going to put some pressure on Keith to go first here.
It's so hard because it's just the same thing every week. It's just the same thing every week. It's just the same thing every week. It's just the same thing. Max Headroom, same thing. Max Headroom, same thing. Max Headroom, same thing every week. They're not following the system. Apparently, they're not doing anything. All they're doing is losing. We are going to become the greatest.
That is doing something. Remember forgetting? Do you guys remember the scene from Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Team. We're going to be. Hold on. We're going to be like the mid-90s Giants. We're going to have all the top kicking stats. The best, the best field goal percentage with the longest kickoff percentage, the best special teams. We're going to be special teams experts. Why? Because we're going to have so much practice in special teams. Why? Because our offense sucks and they do not do anything to get us any points except get field goals, which gives our kickers some credit. We're going to be the best kicking team in football, people.
Score.
9
Whoa.
Giants.
Wait,
6
what did you just? Hold on a second.
Cowboys.
Okay, so you're
9-6?
still going with the Giants, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a field goal battle. New York Giants football, 1990s, circa 95, baby. 9-6. We're going to have a field goal battle. We're going to win this battle.
What time is the Giants game? Is it a 4:00 start again this
It's
week?
4 o'clock start, yeah. I'm just glad we're not playing.
Is it? Can we confirm that's a 4:00 start? I don't know why I don't remember.
We
that.
can if you pay me.
This guy's got an Arnold soundboard.
Yeah, I just honestly listen. All kidding aside, we are a kicking team, and you don't win as a kicking
4:25.
team.
4:25
So
start.
We're gonna win. Actually, I'm gonna go out on a limb. 12-9.
All right, and well, that would be on par with our average because in the first game we put up 16 points against the Steelers. Then we put up 13 points against the Bears. Then we had a fantastic showing against the 49ers D team, 9 points there. And then we decided to match up with that last week and put up another 9 points. So, all right, so are you picking the Giants?
Yeah, 12-9.
All right, well. Timmy?
Vaughn, you are correct, but it won't happen. Steve Panacci, you are correct. And Keith, I like where your head's at, but I like where your heart's at. Like I said, you got to go with the head, not the heart. Will we break out against them? Yes. And by break out, I mean 14 points. The only problem is the Cowboys will probably have about 35. So I'm going 35-14. Cowgirls. and what do I say every week? I hope I'm wrong. I would love to take the loss. I would love to take that loss.
So I'm going back to
cry.
look at it. Keith, you did pick this as a win in the preseason. Keith had us at 2-2 so far. None of us had us at 0-4. So I just say.
I think did I pick them to beat the Rams for their first win?
No, you had them losing to the Steelers, beating the Bears, and then
beating the Bears.
Then losing to the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cowgirls. And then beating oh my God, please let's not lose to Washington next week, guys. Please.
Next week's our first win of the week.
Oh yeah. You heard it. That's a hot take from Timmy right there. All right. I am also going with the Cowgirls here. And there we go. We got a doggy in here. Our fourth member.
Who's that boy?
For the score, I don't know how I don't know how we do score 14 points, and I don't know how we don't only score 14 points against this offense. I mean, against this defense. So I'm gonna go wicked crazy here. Now, I'm gonna pick the Cowgirls here also, but I'm gonna pick the Cowgirls to win 38-21. I say we score 3 touchdowns this week.
Wow.
Listen, there's going to be a moment.
You guys are right.
There's going to be.
Well, I still say a loss, but
I don't think it's going to be this week. But there's going to be a moment this year where the offensive line gels. Week 14, week 10, I don't know.
Week
I
17.
don't think it's this week. The moment that offensive line gels, I think this team is ready for liftoff.
And by gels, that means Will Hernandez gets his head out of his ass.
Oh, he's still on the team, Will Hernandez?
Will Hernandez gets his head out of his ass because
he still plays for Giants?
I'm tired of seeing guys blow past him. I really am tired of it.
I think he should
it's
be
rough.
on the bench.
It's rough to watch it. Yeah. All right.
Take
So
us off to this hot.
This is Will Hernandez.
isn't that sound that they used to make fun of? What's her name? Taylor Swift.
Yes, I think so.
All right, so that will do it for us this week. We got through our disaster of a Rams game. We got through a little preview of the Cowgirls and Giants here, and we talked about our picks. And we talked about all the schemes and whatnot at the forefront. So I think this was a pretty well-rounded show, guys. I think we did.
It was, except for my foolishness. But what kind of show would it be without my foolishness?
No, well, okay. So now's the problem. Keith can see now. You should have done is use the glasses the whole show.
Hold on, you can see my
See
screen
what's
too.
going. Yeah,
If you really
you just got like your bifocals there. Are those bifocals?
They are actually bifocals. But for reading,
So
I don't.
cold.
I have zero prescription. It's only for distance. So really, the bottom half is just clear glass.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up
All
for
right.
us this week. Let's go round robin here. Any closing remarks? We'll go clockwise here for a change. Timmy, any closing remarks for the fans?
Giants wise, no. Show me something, please. Prove me wrong. That's what I want. Prove me wrong. I hope. Just, you know what? Even just show up this week. If you lose, you lose, but lose 38-35. Give me something to cheer for. And real quick, I know it's not off subject. I'm sorry, non-hockey people, but let's go Rangers. Not only did they draft Alexis Lafreniere, but they leapfrogged it over the Devils on purpose just to get another defensive kid. What's his name? I have right here. Braden Schneider. Love that guy. Good defensive player. So let's go Rangers. I'm happy they're doing it. So they had a good draft, so I'm happy. And
I love how they announced him. Did you see how they now born to be a Ranger?
Yep. So other than that, wear your masks, please. It's got to stop. And everybody watching, thank you. All the new people, thank you. Share us out. Come back next week.
Yep.
And I got one thing to say, broken down to 35 parts. The first part is
sounds about right.
Steve Bonacci, next show. Usually we do Wednesdays before the Thursday night game. Stay tuned to our site on Facebook, the We Stomped You Out show.
Shut up, Raul. Shut up.
Raul. I'm a Rangers fan, so I can't agree with that.
There's not many Devils fans.
Yeah, Steve, check us out. Vaughn, same thing. Check us out. If you're not already following us, follow us. We'll give you a heads up usually the day of, before the show. We try to do Wednesday right before the Thursday show. Sometimes things happen. We can't get on air in time. Tim is a big Devils fan, so for Tabala's sake, let's go Devils. And I just want to say that all my picks that I chose this week, if they contradict with Tim and Tim was right, remember before all my picks, I said that I will pick everything Tim picked. So Faraci has to alter my pick. But if Tim's wrong and I'm right, it doesn't apply. Just saying. Let's go Giants. I really want to see this offensive line come together. This offensive line, if it comes together, Will Hernandez sucks. Fuck you. Excuse you. What? But if this offensive line comes together, we can do some special stuff. The defense seems to be gelling and doing a good job, but we need to give them some time off the field. And if that offensive line can really just buckle down, give us some time, and our running backs can wear out the defense, we will be in good shape. However, at this point, I hope we suck and lose 16 games so we get the first round pick. Since it's already over anyway, let's go Giants. If that makes any sense.
We're to get that positivity out there, Keith.
To Tim's point, yeah, wear your masks. I'm not going to get political because, unfortunately, your health is these days political for whatever strange reason. I'm not a party line guy. I'm a common sense guy. Wear your mask, follow CDC code, and avoid this pandemic, avoid this flu. It's not a hoax. Let's get this thing together and let's get life back to normal. The only way to do that is to abide by the rules, not to remove your mask, but to wear it. Amen. Have a nice day. Let's go Giants. Get to the chopper.
All right, I'm not going to mention the mask because you guys got that covered pretty well there. If for all those guys watching in other groups outside of the We Stomped You Out group, go ahead and join the group. Look, you can't be a part of too many Giants groups, and the internet is big enough for all of us. So, we enjoy what we see in the other Giants groups. We hope you enjoy what you see in our group. So go ahead and join, and that's when you'll get the updates to see when we're going to go on. Tim's constantly posting. We try and get that news up there as soon as possible, as soon as we hear it from our sources.
And feel free to post it yourself if you beat us to the punch.
Absolutely. The more posting, the merrier.
Plug the other shows.
Yeah, let's get some other shows out there. So yesterday, you can tune in to rewatch it, or you can listen anywhere that you get your podcast from. Apple Podcast, Google. What's the Google one, Keith?
I have no idea.
Castbox. There's a lot out there.
We're on iHeartRadio. We are on. What is the big one that Bill Simmons now owns?
We're on Anchor. We're
on
on
Anchor.
We're on all
of them. Bill Simmons ones?
Wait, no.
Why am I having such a brain fart right now?
What happened to 27? What's that other place?
They folded. All right, so you can listen to us and you can watch us. So in any of the groups, there's a Just Two Sweet Show group and a fan page. You just search it up on Facebook, where you can find Timmy, along with his tag team partner Eric Zant, AZ. Sometimes I make an appearance on the show. Hollywood Dave is typically on there. He's back yesterday. Bert, I forget what he called it. He changes his name, I feel like, every week.
Every week.
And this week with finally Bert has come back, and then he puts a picture of The Rock. Don't do that again, please, Bert.
His last name was Anerny, right? Anerny?
Yep,
right,
that's his last name.
So that's fun. That's a funny one, Keith. I don't think Keith has ever been on the Just Too Sweet show on a show that we were able to post. Do you remember that one?
We lost the audio.
Well,
that was a phenomenal show.
It was so good.
Show. And the audio dropped. Yep, the audio went out.
We promise. It was a great show.
When's your next show, Tim?
Next week's probably Tuesday again.
Guaranteed
Tuesday.
I'll be there.
Be there, be squared. All right, what else? Timmy, when are you guys doing the Empire 161 show?
As soon as the Yankee series is over, we're going to go series by series. Hopefully, we'll be discussing the next round and not the end of the season recap.
Stanton has just been ridiculous. He's.
You guys are up against Tampa, so that's a tricky one. If you guys pass Tampa, you guys will make it all the way to the World Series, I believe.
You've been watching.
So.
He's been watching video of the scumbag that used to play for the Mets in 2015, Daniel Murphy.
Whoa!
Watching video, six straight postseason games of the home run. Well, he's up to 4 now, right? He's got 5 in those 4 games. It's been ridiculous. It's been absurd. Other shows. I'm not sure what day the Jader and Kyle show, Kyle and Jader show, mix and match. What day that's coming on. The Rodriguez out of action probably for another week to 2 weeks. So that's when we will go on the Put in the Book show, and we'll recap the failure that was the 2020 season for the New York Mets, and potential promising offseason at the same time. And then maybe some changes coming up next week. Four quarter show. That's something that airs when it desires to air. The next and potentially final game of the NBA Finals coming up on Friday. Lakers looking to close that series out against the Miami Heat. It's been good game so far, but Lakers are just too much. They when there's 2 superstars in a series and they're both on the same team, it's too much. And so look forward to the 4 quarter show. They have a very unique way of doing things. It is 4 quarters, typically 12 minutes, except for when me and Tim are on, because we make the quarters last about 30 minutes each.
Yep.
And so they break it down. They do a halftime show. They do an overtime segment there also. So, and again, next week, likely to be some changes to the network, and we hope that you follow us along. So again, if you're watching from any other Giants groups, we appreciate that, but go ahead and join our group, the We Stomped You Out show, on Facebook, just so that you can see all the updates and you can know exactly when the shows are coming on, and you can watch any past shows either here or on YouTube. I'm not going to give the name out on YouTube just yet, but if you're watching on YouTube, you know where you're watching. But that's just a hint of a potential change coming next week. So that was very long-winded goodbye, but that'll wrap it up for us. We will put a big old blue, red, white ribbon on this bad boy, and we will talk to you guys next week, hopefully after a somewhat miraculous victory over the Dallas Cowgirls in Dallas. Till then, we will talk to you next week. Peace out.